Unfortunately, pH has now become a notifiable condition. Now, notifiable does not mean, I want to really make this known right from the word go, does not mean you will lose your licence. It's just one of those conditions that individuals with a diagnosis of pH must notify. What will generally happen then is that nothing will happen. You will be just asked to provide some information, which in essence is saying this person has pH, but they're still safe to drive. Now that will probably for most people come with some sort of signed report from your specialist centre, and to help so there's not a massive work overload to the specialist centres, we produce this information for that. There are two types of licences. One, for the majority of people, those are ones who just drive a car. Now, they're going to be the least impacted, but you still have to notify. And it's based on symptoms. Now, we know, and this conversation we've had with Dr. Nick Jenkins, is that for the vast majority, it isn't an issue. Where it would become an issue is for those people who have pH, who are people who have syncopal events. Now, syncopal is a medical phrase for blackouts. Now, that's not uncommon in pH, but is often only seen at diagnosis. And once people are on treatment, they tend never to have a syncopal event again, unless they're very, very poorly, and probably wouldn't be driving anyway. Those who have the other type of licence, which is for heavy goods vehicles, and those that would carry public transport, such as a bus or a coach driver, that puts you in a very different class, and you probably would be asked to surrender your licence until a full medical report is produced. So what we've produced is is the main thing, is an information sheet which goes through the information that we've got with the telephone numbers on. What you must do, you're going to be asked to produce a form that's going to get signed. It's called the H1 Online. It's available online. We're going to make it a link on our website to this and to the information that we produced. You download it. Your GP can actually sign it, and most GPs, if they feel comfortable, would be happy to sign it and say that you are not at risk while driving. And if there's any doubt, then the pH centres will do it. With the form, the H1 form that needs to be completed, it looks quite complicated. Much of that form, it's a generic form, so it's used for lots of conditions. Much of the questions on that form are irrelevant to pH, so would be irrelevant to you. And again, our suggestion would be try not to complete it. There's probably one or two questions that are pertinent to pH, and your specialist centres will be better answering those questions. As I say, it's generic, so that covers all sorts of conditions. I think there are a number of reality checks here that it will take a fair amount of time for all the people this affects, for the centres and the clinical staff at the centres to do this. They're already very busy, there's no extra time for this, but there's no great urgency. I would say again, the only real thing is if you feel that you're unsafe to drive, then please don't drive. What we would suggest is pick up the phone. The telephone number is on here and available on the website. You will be put through to an advisor at DVLA, and they will, you just say, I've got a diagnosis of pH, I now understand it's a notifiable condition, and then the process starts. Make sure you take the name and reference number of that call, so you've got it on record, and just continue driving. The reason most people will be safe is that the symptoms of pulmonary hypertension only occur when you're doing things, climbing a flight of stairs, going up a hill, those sorts of things, and you really have to push yourself, and most people would not do that. Most people on effective treatment would not do that. When we talk about most people, that's got to be in the high 80%, 90% of people. So, but it's your responsibility. A word of warning just at present. We did do, as soon as we heard, within days of hearing this, we did some secret shopping with the DVLA, and out of a number of phone calls, the majority of advisors said, no, you don't need to tell us. You do need to tell them. You must tell them. That will change over time as it becomes more and better understood at the DVLA and the people at the sharp end of taking the calls. Also, please do not start ringing the PHA because we just could not cope with the flood of information. And the staff that we have at the PHA are not there and are not medically qualified. What we've done is produce the information pack there. So, in summary, it is your responsibility to inform the DVLA. Don't panic. Class 1 licences, most people not affected. Class 2 licences, unfortunately, it is an issue, but then it probably was anyway because of the nature of your work, and that's going to affect very, very few people. Also, when you make that call, take a note of the time, the date, the person who's done it, or at least ask them for a reference number. If you're due in a specialist clinic appointment in the next few months, I would just take it along with readiness for that. Your GP would be able to sign it if they felt comfortable, but please accept that some GPs may just be uncomfortable because of the nuances of pulmonary hypertension, and that would not be unreasonable.